Good afternoon. We'll begin from where we had left off. I think we had finished the chapter. I had asked you all to do the exercise, and if you all had no difficulties, I said we'll begin with the next chapter. So, do you have any difficulties in exercise 1.4?
Kihan, can you hear me now? Kihan, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Am I audible now? Or is it still not audible to you all? Okay. Good. So anybody has any difficulties in exercise 1.4? 1.4 में किसी को कोई difficulties, or should we proceed further? If you have difficulties, let me know. Otherwise, we will do the second chapter we'll begin with. Okay. So nobody has any difficulties. So should I begin with the second chapter, polynomials? Or you all have any queries, any question, whatever it is, please ask. Now is the time. If you don't have any queries, any questions, then I'll begin with the second chapter, that is polynomials. Again, it is a continuation of what you all have done in 9th standard. So we will be able to go at a faster pace because I'm sure you have done it in 9th. So that much we will be able to do faster. Okay. So let's understand what is a polynomial. Okay. Polynomial basically means an expression where there are multiple terms. Polynomial means an expression where there are multiple terms. Okay. It can have one or two variables. It can have more than two variables. Okay. That is another part. And it also means the degree. The degree also can change. It can be power 1, like we had seen when we did. We will see when we do quadratic. Degree 2 is called quadratic. Degree 1 is called linear. So basically, a polynomial is an algebraic expression with multiple terms. That is what we are going to see. Okay. When the degree is 1, then it is called as a linear polynomial. When the degree is 2, it is called as a quadratic polynomial. When the degree is 3, it is called as a cubic polynomial. And if the degree is 4, it is called as biquadratic. Now, what do we mean by degree and all those things? That also I'll explain to you briefly. something like this. Ax plus by plus c equal to 0. This is called as a linear polynomial. This is called as a linear polynomial. Okay. Ax plus by plus c is called as a linear polynomial. Here all the powers are 1. So this is called as linear. Okay. Then ax square plus bx plus c. This will be called as quadratic, because here the power of the variable is 2. The power of the variable is 2. Therefore, it will be called as a quadratic polynomial. Similarly, something like this will be called as cubic polynomial, as the power or the degree of the variable or the index is 3. So it will be called as a cubic polynomial. And we can have something like a by 4 plus b by 3 plus c by square plus dy plus e. Okay, this is called as biquadratic. This is called as biquadratic. So you have quadratic, you have linear, you have quadratic, you have cubic, and you have biquadratic. For the purpose of your exams, you will be focusing on these two. These two, this is still there in your textbook, but it is not from the exam point of view, and this is not there even in your textbook. So you don't need to focus more on these two, but we need to focus on these two from the examination point of view. So are we clear with this? What is a quadratic polynomial? What is a linear polynomial? What is... Now, of course, there are certain conditions that are there for a polynomial to be quadratic. Yes, this is how it is. But here it says A, B, and C, where A, B, and C are real numbers, all of this. Okay. Here also, not only that, but A cannot be equal to 0. Same over here. A, B, C, and D are real numbers, and A is not equal to 0. Okay, when we do quadratic chapter, we'll see more in detail why A cannot be 0. Because the moment A becomes 0, 0 into x square is going to become 0. So this will be bx plus c. Now if it is bx plus c, the highest power of the variable is 1. And if the power is 1, then it becomes a linear equation and does not remain a quadratic equation. So A cannot be 0. That is what we are going to see more in detail. Okay. Now let's look at first the linear polynomial. In fact, in linear polynomial, you need not have two variables. It could also be of one variable, which is ax plus b equal to ax plus b. It could only be ax plus b. So here what happens? Now I can easily find out the value of x over here. If the linear polynomial is ax plus b, all I need to do is I need to equate it to 0. So I can say ax plus b equal to shift b to the right hand side will become minus b. X equals to minus b upon a. X equals to minus b upon a. So I can find out the value of x by this method. So when I find out the value of x, okay, for this value of x, the equation for this value of x, the equation will become 0. For this value of x, the equation will become 0. Therefore, it is called as 0 of the polynomial. It is called as 0 of the polynomial. That means for the value x equals to minus b upon a, the equation is going to become 0. So this is the 0 of this polynomial. Okay, we'll look at few examples. Based on this. Okay. In fact, if I want, I can simplify this and further say it is minus constant term upon coefficient of x. Minus of constant term upon coefficient of x. Just a second. Yeah. So it is minus of constant term upon coefficient of x. This is in case of a linear polynomial. Now you can try this out. For example, if you know 3x plus 12 equal to 0, or 3x plus 12 rather. If you just have a polynomial 3x plus 12, you just have a polynomial 3x plus 12. So if you have that polynomial, at what value of x will you get it equal to 0? All you have to do is you have to equate 3x plus 12 equal to 0 to get the value of x. So the value of x that we will get, will be called as the 0 of the polynomial. Let's look at that example. (3x plus 12). If this is the polynomial, and if I want to find the 0 of this polynomial, or the value of x for which this polynomial returns value 0, so I'll say 3x plus 12 equal to 0, 3x equals to minus 12, x equals to minus 12 upon 3, which is equal to minus 4. Therefore, x equal to minus 4 is the 0 of this polynomial. X equal to minus 4 is the 0 of this polynomial. Okay, so to find the 0 of the polynomial, whether it is a linear polynomial, whether it is a quadratic polynomial, whether it is a cubic polynomial, the first step is equate it to 0 and then solve it. Now, sometimes it is very simple like this. In case of quadratic, of course, we are going to do that chapter in detail. So that time we are going to learn the method how to find out the zeros. But just some things that you should know. In a linear equation, you have found x equal to minus 4. That means you have found one value of x for which the expression or the equation is returning value 0. When we solve quadratic, you will see there will be two values of x for which it will be 0. When we solve cubic polynomials, there will be not 1, not 2, but there will be 3 values of x for which the expression will give value 0. So there are 3 zeros of a cubic polynomial. Similarly, when we solve a biquadratic expression or a biquadratic polynomial, the values of x for which it returns value 0 will be 4. Okay, will be 4. So that is what we are going to see. But as I said, you do not have cubic and biquadratic, so we will be restricting ourselves to linear and quadratic. We'll be restricting ourselves to linear equations and quadratic equations. So from this, now here I've got this value of minus 4. If I substitute minus 4, check what will happen. If I were to say 3 into minus 4 plus 12. Now 3 into minus 4 is minus 12 plus 0. So it justifies that. Instead of doing all of this and finding this out, I could have directly taken this. From here, I could have said x equals to constant term with a minus sign. So 12 upon coefficient of x, that is. Okay. So this is how it helps me to get the values faster. This is in terms of this relationship of the coefficients and constants with respect to 0 is in terms of a linear polynomial. Okay. In case of quadratic polynomial, it will not hold the same way. We will see what happens in a quadratic and what happens in a cubic polynomial. Before that, what does it mean when it says that the 0 of a polynomial, that we've understood? If I get x equal to -4, it is going to become 0. Graphically, what does it mean? Let us understand graphically what it means. Now, graphically, x equal to 0 or the value of x for which it is 0 in case of a linear. Now, linear equation, as we will see in the next chapter when we are doing it, okay, linear equations, as we will see, are actually equations of a straight line. So here what it means is, if I were to plot that line on a graph, okay, if I were to plot that line on a graph, somewhere over here, at this point, x is, sorry, somewhere over here, the line is going to cut the y-axis. Over here, x is 0, something. Okay, so that is the value x equal to 0. Okay, so that is the value that we are going to get, x equal to 0. And here it will be x comma 0. So when I say 0 of the polynomial, then I'm talking of this value and not this value. Because what this says is, this is the place where the line is cutting the x-axis. That means at x equal to something, whatever it is, -4, -3, whatever, it will be equal to 0. That means it will be cutting the x-axis. Okay, so where it intersects the x-axis, that is what is your 0 of the polynomial. In case of a linear, as we have seen, there will be one. In case of a linear distance, there will be one place where it will cut the x-axis. So wherever it cuts the x-axis, that is your 0 of the polynomial for a linear equation. Now, in case of a quadratic, what is going to happen is, you will have your graph paper like this. In case of a quadratic, it will be like a parabola. The graph will be like a parabola. When we solve it and when we plot the values, we will get, this is in case of linear. This is in case of, so here you will see it is cutting the x-axis in two places. That's why you will have 2 zeros of the polynomial. Because it is cutting the x-axis at 2 places. That is in case of quadratic equation. In case of cubic, graphically, now does that mean that it will always be, this parabola is always like this? Not necessary. The parabola can be of different shapes. Like in the same distance, it could be like this, but basically it is cutting in 2 places. Sometimes you will come across a parabola that just touches the x-axis. Now here, where it is just touching the x-axis, both the values are the same. Both the values will be the same. Okay, it can touch like this, it can touch like this, and there might be some situation. Where it does not cut the x-axis at all. The parabola might be somewhere here like this or here like this. That is also possible. So when we are going to solve quadratic equations, we'll see that there are possibilities that you'll have two distinct values, that is two different zeros, or 1 0 only in both cases, or no zeros because it is not cutting the x-axis at all. That we will see when we do quadratic equations, that chapter in detail. When we see that in detail, that time we will see when it is that it has only 1 0, when it has only 1 0, when it is that it has 2 zeros, and when it is that it has no zeros. It is possible. Okay, but more often than not, it will have two different values when it is a quadratic polynomial. In case of a cubic polynomial, what will be? There is one possibility. Of course, there are multiple possibilities, but normally it will be something. It will be something like this. So you have 1, 2, 3. Okay, you have 1, 2, and 3. Are we clear? This is how the zeros of the polynomial will be represented geometrically or graphically. Okay, the polynomials and the zeros can be represented graphically in this manner. Are we clear? Okay, very soon, I think, yeah, it's almost a minute, less than a minute. We'll have to re-log in. Then we will see between zeros and coefficients what it is, that relationship. Just go through this. Anything not understood, please ask. This is in case of, as I said,